I have to keep recording this episode because I just simply can't ship 98% of the stuff that I'm saying in regards to this topic. But last week, somebody posted out a WordPress. It started as like a social thread. I think it was a social post first, or maybe it was a blog post first, now that I'm thinking about it. But the title on at least Twitter was WordPress is lying. There's this whole breakdown of this person's perspective on, if you read it without reading the conclusion, how WordPress has been failing this person for the 15 years that he's been in the space. Now, this person also sells WordPress plugins. And fun fact, I also saw that he launched like another WordPress project this weekend to measure plugin performance and all this stuff. As somebody who's been doing this for 18 years, it's always fascinating to me that, and this is just an aside, and if you don't mind if I get on the soapbox for a second here, but when anybody puts out a negative post like this, whether it's a Reddit thread, a Hacker News, whatever, whenever you're just shitting on WordPress, it goes crazy, right? Because everyone loves that exhale of emotion to be like, yes, that's right, it does suck. And yeah, it doesn't matter what I say, as long as WordPress sucks is in the title, or WordPress is lying in the title, it's going to get all of this emotional reaction. But when you're somebody like me who's been trying to be critical of the space, of leadership, of direction, of software features, but also try to support WordPress, you don't get as much support, even from the people who need support, often rarely engage with my content and help promote it. Hell, even the people I interview barely use the podcast or live stream or tutorial that I made for them in their marketing. It's just amazing to me that how much negative content will be amplified in WordPress, or I guess in life. That's the life that we're in right now. That's the timeline we're on. Anyway, I've done other recordings of this where I broke down all of the different points and gave my perspective. And in this blog post, he cites only one thing that I really agree with, which is there's some issues with core. Yeah, I get it. I believe there's some issues with core, but everything else can be dissected in different views. And that's not what I want to do in this particular episode. What I really want to get at is, at the end of that post, he offers two conclusions. And one of the conclusions is either this whole thing needs to be, another CMS needs to come along that has 100% community input. Can you imagine operating a piece of software the size of WordPress that everyone gets a say in what goes into it? You talk about how much WordPress is lagging behind now. Can you imagine waiting for thousands of people to vote on something? Tens of thousands of people to vote on a feature? Or somebody doesn't like a button over here and 3,000 other people say the button should be over there. Can you just imagine that world for a second? You need to have some kind of structure, some kind of person who is holding the torch to build the software and lead the charge. I'm not saying what we have now is anywhere near perfect or working, but certainly this fascination that everyone has fallen in love with. There's the WordPress community where we all talk and all have a say in talking to each other, somehow also equals the way the software is getting developed, it being the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So can we drop it, please? Can we drop it? I still want WordPress to win, but I don't think we can just do it by everyone having a say in how the software is made. Who has time for that, in fact? You must put people in charge who have the time to do it right, in my opinion. Still not the point of today's episode. The point of today's episode is when you're the author writing a critique on WordPress, whether it's on the software, the features, the leadership, the community, and at the end of your blog post, where you're just shitting all over WordPress, and then you also say, but I'm still going to stick around. I'm still making a living here. I'm still selling a plugin. I'm still launching new products. I'm still here doing it. How about, instead of that throwaway sentence after 1,000 words shitting all over WordPress, you take that last throwaway sentence of, I'm still here. I'm not going to give up on it. Make a blog post out of that. Turn that into your why WordPress. People complain there's no marketing coming from the central hub of WordPress, whether it's .org or Automatic or whatever. Everyone start with their own message. Why WordPress? I've said this for a year. Why WordPress? Why do you use it? And you can have your critical take as long as you're not being an asshole about it. You can have your critical take. You could be an asshole too, by the way, and just, hey, people will vote whether they want to read or amplify your content. Take that energy and talk about why you want to use WordPress. Because newsflash, you get that rush, you get that high of everyone sharing your negative thing, and everyone's like, yeah, this whole thing sucks, and hundreds and thousands of people are sharing this. What do you think that does to the persona of WordPress, which we've been challenged with now for the better half of a decade? What does that do to anyone who wants to use it? Another point is on social media, I put out a thing retweeting. Somebody was like, oh, whatever, WordPress is dead, Wix is dead. Nobody's like, these old CMSs don't follow any kind of agentic features. Like I can't just talk to it and build a site. Another fun fact, WordPress is heading in that direction. And WordPress can do it. And to unpack this further, this person wanted agentic, but then also have a CMS where he can just click, and after it's agentically built, right? Because that's the rush, that's the fun part. Hey, build me this site. It does all the things behind the scenes. It's done. Now you get to go in and click an H1 and modify it. That's freaking WordPress, man. WordPress could do that now. Maybe not the agentic stuff, but we're already seeing this. .com's doing it. Elementor has it with Angie. Like there are big players doing things with AI to help you agentically build a website, and you can go and click that one thing to do it. It's the best of both worlds. If you take your freaking tech hat off for a second and pull out your visceral hate for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and MySQL, or SQLite, whatever the hell it's running on these days at most web hosts, remove that and say, now I can agentically build a WordPress site. And if you can do that in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and it's just as easy as you talking to Claude to build an Astro site, what's going to be the next complaint? Because to me, that's the best of both worlds. Build a site agentically, quickly. Now I go in and I click the button I want to click to modify the content, because Gutenberg is a great content editor. You might hate it for website building, but it's a great content editor. So if Claude can make all those decisions, or whatever API you connect up to can make those decisions for you, now what? So now WordPress can do it. Are we just going to say, oh yeah, that's not exactly what I want? I spend a lot of time analyzing my local politics, and I won't go too deep into that, but I was listening to another local podcast the other day where he was one of the hosts of the show was complaining about there's not enough like these certain restaurants. He wants to go to these restaurants, and his co-host pointed out like he wants restaurants all over the city. I want to be able to leave my house, walk down, walk to this restaurant, walk to that restaurant. I want options. I want to be able to do this anywhere in the city. And his co-host is like, there's this restaurant down here. It's right on the water. It's like the only kind of very unique experience in a 30-mile radius. There's not a lot of restaurants like this. So yeah, but that's over there. Then there's these 2 other breweries on the other side over there that you can go to. That's just over there. It's in that side of the city. I want it everywhere. It's just, when are you ever happy? When is anyone ever happy with what they have? A person writes a post titled, WordPress is lying. He's been lied to for 15 years, but then at the end of the day, it's either he wants a competitor to come in and blow it all away, which in fact would blow away his own business on paper, or I'm just going to stick around and keep profiting off of it. What the hell, man? What do you want out of WordPress? I understand everyone's frustrations, and it is frustrating to me as well. Having come back from PressConf feeling energized, because I think PressConf is a great event. PressConf without events, don't forget to go to it next year. But it's half people are just like energized, and you got this other half who just want the whole thing to burn down. And we're all in this house. What, we're going to burn down this house while we're all standing in it? Very frustrating, and I don't understand a lot of people's reasonings other than just wanting mass destruction. And that's a scary thing, like to me, anyway. So that's what I have today. People should spend more time talking about why they do WordPress than the negative. You can still bring your negative criticism. I shouldn't say negative criticism. You can still bring your criticism. You still bring your criticism, bring your critical eye, post about it on social, your blog, your newsletter, your podcast, your YouTube channel, your TikTok, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. You can do all that stuff. That's great. But also, let's not forget to talk about the WordPress stuff that is working for you and why you still stick around after you get the rush of the retweets and the clicks and the likes and the visits to your site over your negative post. Because WordPress isn't lying. You're lying to yourself.